Okay, so here I'm reviewing the Ritual planner and some of the other things that I got along with it. And I just wanted to hop in now. I already recorded the rest of it, but it's kind of all over the place. So I just wanted to give a little TLDR here at the beginning. So I am fairly new to getting into like tarot and astrology and all these things. And after looking through this workbook, I think that this is a very good journal for someone like me who's just getting into it. I definitely recommend looking into this. I also got their stamps, and I really like the stamps that it comes with. I'll go into all this in more detail later in the video, but I will just say I really do love these two items. This, for someone just starting out, I'm not sure about their monthly workbook, but I think it could be good for some people. But I would say for right now, I definitely think for beginners, this journal, tarot journal, is definitely good, and these stamps are very good. So I'll get into it. I'll try to put timestamps throughout the video for whenever I look at each of these items individually, but yeah, just wanted to throw that in before I get into all the rambling that's about to come. All right, so I just got this package in the mail, so I wanted to hop on and just do a quick unwrapping and review. I think I came across this probably on like a Facebook or Instagram ad. So it's the Writual Planner Company. And to be honest, I can't even remember what all I ordered, but I know a couple things. So let's just see what we've got. So this is how it came packaged. So I've been wanting to start getting a little bit into tarot, and I've been saying this for like a year, but I've been wanting to get into it a little bit more to kind of like for introspection and things like that. And I've been wanting to do like a daily like tarot journal or something like that. And I found these stamps. So whenever you pull a card, you can just stamp it in your journal instead of having to write out what card you have. And so this was what kind of attracted me to it initially. So it's got these stamps with the different tarot cards on it, and then it comes with this little stamp pad, and then so I haven't used it yet, so I think theoretically what you do is you tear this off, like whatever card you get, you would peel this off of this, put it on here, and then stamp it. So instead of having like all these individual stamps themselves, you just have this sheet and then you use the stamps, if that makes sense. I'll try it out here in a minute and I'll show you how it works. So I got some with the tarot, and then they also had some with different like astrological like zodiac things. So I went ahead and got that one too. Okay, so cut that out because I think it showed my address. But yeah, so I got the astrology stamps, the tarot stamps, and then the monthly workbook. So they actually had a subscription, like a monthly subscription, and it wasn't that much. Doesn't have the price on here, but it wasn't a whole lot. But they send you like a workbook to do at the beginning of the month, and then kind of set you up for the month and what's, you know, going on astrologically and things like that. So I'll have a look at this here in a second. And then I got this tarot journal. So I think they do have some that are like annual ones that are dated, but this one was the undated one, and it's the blue color. So this is what the blue one looks like. And then it's spiral, and then it's just got all these different pages to where this is what I saw on the ad, to where, you know, you could do like a 3-card draw and then use the stamps to kind of stamp what you pulled and then take notes of your pull every day. So I thought that might be a pretty easy, straightforward way to get into learning more about the tarot. So let me like look through this stuff, and then I will come back and give you my thoughts on it. Okay, so I just tested out the stamps, and I really like them. I like how this is kind of set up. It seems pretty easy to use. So it says, for best results, place them on a clear block, and they did send this clear block with the ink. They will cling to the surface. If your stamps begin losing their stickiness, you can wash them gently and let them air dry. So I just tried one of them. So it comes with this part that's like kind of a thicker plastic for a base, and then this thinner plastic that kind of comes up. And so you just kind of peel this back for whichever one you need. So I'll just pick this one, and it's a little bit sticky, and then it has right here so you know where to put it back, like that. And then you just stick it onto the block and then put it in the ink. Yeah, so far it's pretty clear. I like it. So yeah, so I would say I'm happy with these so far. Let me look through, I'm sure the other ones are the same way, so let me look through the books real quick and see what we've got in there. Sorry, one more thing I wanted to mention. So it looks like they have all the major arcana on here, and then for the minors, it just has like the cups, pentacles, swords, and wands, and then I guess you would write in like if you've got the 2 of cups or, you know, whatever. So it's just got those 4 for the minor, but then all the major ones here. Okay, so I just spent some time flipping through the journal, and so far I really like it. Like, we'll see if I like it enough to use it daily, but no, like as of right now, I feel like I really like it, and I do think it's something that I will stick to probably. Let me just go through. So it has 360 days of these journaling spaces, so you could use it for almost a year. And this is kind of what I talked about. It touches on like why I said I want to use it, and so it's more about kind of like self-reflection, which is how I'm more going to be using the tarot cards, not about like doing readings and things like that for like future things, but it'll be more just like for self-reflection and how I feel about like whatever what's the word, you know, whatever's brought up with each card. So it talks a little bit about that, gives you a little bit of information on how to do a tarot reading. And this was something that I found interesting because I was struggling. I like doing 3-card pulls, but the way I had been exposed to it was you pull 3 cards and the card represents the past, present, and future. But this gives you like lots of different options for how you would do your 3 card spreads. So you would pick one of these into what you want, you know, your 3 cards to kind of show you. So they do have the past, present, future option on there, but then there's all these different options for the 3-card spreads. And then it kind of goes over, I like it when journals have kind of examples, kind of showing you how to use it, because I'm one that kind of likes to look at templates to get ideas. So it just kind of walks you through like how to start. So it looks like you'll pull your 3 cards, you'll put the date, and then you'll kind of, you have these spaces, numbered spaces to write kind of just a summary of what the cards represent, and then the notes at the bottom, you can kind of reflect and think about how those may, you know, your thoughts on what the cards mean and everything. So I like that. And then here's where I would do my stamps, and yeah, it looks like they'll just put the number in the corner for those minor cards. So yeah, but it also has 12 pages of new moon and full moon spreads. So you would have a year of documenting the new moon and full moon, doing a pull on those days. And that's something I have gotten into, is kind of like trying to feel a little bit more connected with like the universe and paying attention to when the new moons and the full moons are. And so I think this will be good for that. I've tried some other ones, like I had gotten the what is this? This came with my Lunarly box. So Lunarly came with these little like booklets where you would kind of reflect. You'd start with the new moon and set intentions, and then look back on the first quarter moon and the full moon and the third quarter. And I don't know, that was just too much. Like doing it basically like once a week was just kind of a lot to keep up with, and I would always get behind with it. So I'm thinking just the new moon and full moon may be a better place for me to get started. So I like that so far. And then it's got kind of these cheat sheets. So most tarot decks, you know, come with like booklets that have their meanings of the cards, but this just has kind of some cheat sheets on what all the cards mean. So it's got the minors up here and then the majors down here. And then it does these self-love check-ins. Honestly, I don't know if I'll use these that much, but we'll see. I'll give it a try. It looks like they have these in the book roughly every 30 days. So I'll show you here in a second. So like maybe like at the beginning of the month, do like a check-in. And then it also has this section about the birth chart, which I have been getting into the birth chart stuff a little bit lately. So basically, I think this book would be really, really good for people like me who are beginners, who are just kind of getting into all this, that just wants to kind of touch a little bit on all of this stuff with astrology and tarot and moon cycles and things like that. Like, I think this is going to be really good for someone like me. With the birth chart stuff, though, I actually have a better book for this, but I think this will be good just to have everything, all this stuff kind of in one place. I don't know if it goes into enough detail for somebody who is not familiar with birth chart stuff at all, because it's all been something that has been a little bit over my head in terms of all this stuff. And this other book I'll show you here in a second, I think is a little bit more helpful for this, but it does give you kind of some more cheat sheets about like the planets and the signs and the houses and all of that stuff that goes into the birth chart stuff. And then you can kind of draw in your birth chart and then put like where your houses are, where your planets are, and things like that. So I think this could be useful for someone just getting into the birth chart. But the thing that I found better is this book. I picked it up for like $10 at Books A Million the other day. And I had birth charts made online before, and it does recommend, so you go online, and the one they recommend is Cafe Astrology. And I did like the detail that they came out with, like, it'll give you a printout at the end of like, and it's free, of, you know, your birth chart, and then it will go through each, like, your sun sign and your ascendant, and then all the planets and the houses that everything is in. And so that was really useful for me, and it goes into a lot more detail about like what the houses mean, and things like that. And I think this had a lot of good information that like I wasn't really clear on just trying to look at these birth chart printouts and read what was going on. This goes into a whole lot of detail about all that stuff, about the planets and the rising sign and houses and all that stuff. So I am going to work through this at some point, but I think in terms of birth chart stuff, this is a really, really good book. It's Astrology, a guided workbook to understand and explore the wisdom of the universe. I don't know who it's by. It says Chartwell Books. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this if you want to get more into birth chart stuff. This is not my first tarot journal that I've tried. I actually had this one that I got off of Amazon, and I really love how it looks. Like, it's a hardcover and it's beautiful. It's got this little ribbon. But I like the layout of the pages in this journal, honestly, better than this one. And yeah, I don't know, but this does have a lot of good information up front that goes into a little bit more about the decks and the cards. So there is like a little bit more information in this one than kind of that cheat sheet that it has. But yeah, I think overall, in terms of like getting into a daily journaling practice, I feel like this is going to be better for me because I didn't stick to this. I did it for like 3 days and didn't stick to it. But yeah, so here's what the layout of the book looks like. So it's got the self-love check-in, and it just says, take a moment for self-reflections, think about your intentions, what's inspiring you, gratitude, all that stuff. I don't know if I'll use this. Like, I've tried to do intention setting and things like that, but we'll see. And then it's got these pages too with each self-love check-in, and it's kind of like you can color. So if you're a person who likes to color and do color sheets, it's got these available for you to do that roughly once a month. And then, yeah, it's got like 30 something pages of these. So you could do your daily 3-card pool and then use the stamps to stamp what your cards are. So I like that. So yeah, so we've got like the 30 days of this. And then it's got another self-love check-in. So like you could do it once a month. You've got a new color page, and then you've got more pages of this. And so like I said, it had 360 spots to do your daily tarot journaling. And then at the back here, it has the new moon and full moon. So I didn't read the whole thing at the beginning, but it sounds like you'll pull some cards at the new moon, and then you'll just kind of check in, where am I right now? What's influencing me? What have I released? Blah, blah, blah. Set your intentions, things like that. And then kind of check in on the full moon, and then do it again. And so it's got 12 of each of these to work through during the year. And then at the end, I think it's got another one of these check-ins, and then just some pages in the back for notes. So I do like this, and I like I said, I kind of like the simplicity, especially of this, because I did have like a moon journal from Moonology, and that was kind of one of those other things. It was just kind of a lot. It was like a daily planner and journal, and I did like that it had all of these other things. Like it would tell, it was a dated one, so you could see like where the moon cycle was every day, and you know what zodiac the moon was, blah blah blah, so all that. But that was just like too much for me at the time, and I didn't keep up with it very well, and I think the simplicity of this is going to be better for me. So yeah, so overall, if you're looking for something like this, something that's not, this doesn't seem super overwhelming, I think it's got a lot in here to use. So far I really like this. The paper, I think some people commented, it seems like pretty good paper to me. Seems pretty good quality. And the cover is not like hard. I think you can get this in a hardcover, but I didn't. This is not hardcover. And it's got the metal spiral, so yeah. So far I really like this. Now let me check out the monthly workbook. Okay, so I just had some time to flip through this workbook. I kind of skimmed through it. I didn't read like every word. We'll see how this goes for me. I honestly think this may be a little beyond where I'm at right now. But I may like come back to this. I don't know if I'll keep getting this monthly subscription to this monthly workbook. So it was a subscription. I want to say it was like $16 a month to get this sent to you like before the first of the month, and then yeah, every month after. But I mean, the book is nice. It's got some nice photos and stuff in it. Let me see. I mean, I think some people may really like it, but I think this is just too much for me to keep up with, because I'm like a student and I work, and I'm just trying to get my feet wet in all of this. But it does kind of have one of these overviews like it had in the other book about the houses and the planets and the signs. And then it kind of talks a little bit about what we could expect going into March. I'm not really sure why it picks out some of these cards like at the beginning. It has these signs and symbols you're going to be talking about for this month. I think the moon might be moving through these signs, and then I guess they have these like planets and tarot cards related. I learned a little bit about the ruling planets for the signs in that other book that I have. But yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I feel like most of this information I could get for free through websites online. Like, it's good that they have it all in one book, but I just don't know how much I will actually use this. It does talk a little bit about conjunctions, and I follow this podcast called the Fun Astrology Podcast, and they're always talking about like conjunctions and things like that, and I'm still not really clear on exactly what that means. But it says here when two planets meet at the same astrological degree, it kind of talks about the conjunctions that are coming up, talks about crystals for this sign. And then it has like a little spell. Not really sure why they have the Empress card here. And then the spell that you can do talks about the full moon in Virgo, which again, like I think I can find stuff online about like the full moons and what they mean in the different signs. But it does kind of lay it out here. And then it has a little ritual here. And then some tarot spreads you can do. And what else? Yeah, I guess I just don't know enough to really follow this that well. So maybe it has rituals, it has tarot spreads for the new moon and the full moon, but I think where I'm at is more like what's in the journal for right now. It just talks a little bit about the planetary movements through the month, which I don't know that I'm ready for to get into that. It does have yoga postures. I remember reading that on the website and I like that. So it just kind of shows some yoga postures, but I've not gotten into runes yet. I've been coming across it a little bit on getting into all this stuff, but it does have the runes for this month. And then it has this, which you can find online for free too. What the moon phases are and what zodiac signs that the moon is moving throughout the month. And I guess it shows what planets are there too. So yeah, I don't know. I think this could be good for some people that are maybe a little bit more advanced than me, but I don't know if I'm quite ready for this yet. But I do love the journal so far. I think this is where I'm at right now, just kind of getting my feet wet. Like I said, love the stamps. I think this is going to make it a lot easier for me to keep up with my journaling and documenting my spreads. Not these stamps. These stamps. And then I may use these with the dates to kind of track what the moon cycle is and what sign the moon is in if I want to get into that. But yeah, like overall I'm happy with my order. Like I said, I love this journal, love the stamps. Not sure, don't think I'm probably going to follow this right now, so I may cancel my subscription for this. But maybe somewhere further in the future. But yeah, I think if you're just starting out like me, I feel like this is definitely a good place to start if you want to start getting into some of this. Again, I would recommend using a free service to do your birth chart, and then maybe get this book, because this does seem to have a lot of information. Like I've seen bits and pieces of this information that's in this book online, but this seems to kind of have it all together more in a way where I can like use the birth chart that I get online along with this book to kind of follow a little bit better what's going on with the birth chart. But I do like that they have this page in here to kind of just keep it, you know, all the stuff in one place where, you know, you can kind of reference it, where is it, pretty easily and see all that. So I do like it in this book. So yeah, overall for beginners, I would definitely recommend giving this one a try. And yeah, so far I really like these little stamps. So that's what I got. I would recommend definitely these items here for sure.